In this video, I will provide you the ultimate baby registry checklist and guide. I'm Gabrielle and I'm a mom of 2 beautiful kids, and as you can see, I'm sitting on a glider, a rocking chair. This is one of the essentials, by the way. When I was expecting my first child, I had no idea what to place on my baby registry, and I just kind of randomly chose things on Amazon and Target, and it was not the best way to go. I regretted many of my decisions. I really didn't know what products to choose. I had no idea which were the best. I also had no idea that I was missing some. So this video will be really helpful if you want to make the right choices and to make sure that you're not spending money on the wrong choices too. I will be covering also what not to buy. There's things that are absolutely useless and will only be a waste of money and your time. When you're creating your baby registry, or if you're planning on giving a gift, you have to consider basic areas of baby needs and mom needs. So I will list them here. By the way, you can go to my website, which is Gabrielle Nunez. It's here on the screen and also in the description. And you can download for free the full checklist. In that checklist, you will also find my product recommendations. I'm an Amazon influencer, and I have placed in my shop the list of my favorite products. But you can also find them in the downloadable guide that you can get for free in the link in the description. Number 1 in importance is, of course, everything that involves diapering and eventually potty training. Why not get those already? The first year of your baby goes by really fast, and of course you're gonna start to need contemplating potty training too. By the way, if you want to learn more about potty training successfully in just 2 or 3 days, check out the video at the end. So what will you need? You will definitely need diapers, wipes, a potty seat, a portable potty seat, a diapering bag, a sink-based cream for when your baby gets a rash or to prevent rashes. You're going to need cornstarch powder. Nowadays, we don't use talc. It's not recommended. They say it's bad for your lungs and the baby's lungs too. And cornstarch is really good at healing diaper rash. It is very soothing and it helps the little baby's butt heal real fast. You'll also need a portable changing pad, which you can carry easily. And usually the best ones are the ones that also include a little roll of bags where you can dispose of the diaper or to store the soiled clothes of your baby, because sometimes accidents happen and you have to put them somewhere until you get back home. And some people don't believe in using a diaper pail. I personally do. The way it keeps odors in is magnificent. I always loved my diaper pail. I will list all my favorite products in regards to all these categories. The second category of must-have things are baby blankets and baby clothes. I suggest that you consider a weekly or bi-weekly basis when it comes to your baby's clothes needs. When you're packing for a baby, they say always take twice the amount of what you would usually need. If you're going somewhere for a week, that means 7 days, you would take 14 outfits in case of accidents, blowouts and all that. So same with clothes. Some people say only buy 7 onesies. You'll be fine with those. I suggest getting 14, but it all depends on your economy also. And what kind of clothes do I recommend? I recommend onesies. I recommend pants. And for baby girls, probably tights. It's kind of difficult to get them when they're super small, but after a few months, you'll find some really nice ones. You're definitely gonna need little socks. I also recommend the scratch mittens. Some people don't believe in them and prefer using socks instead, right? It looks prettier if you use a mittens. You're definitely gonna need some hats. Those I don't think you're gonna need 14, but I say just get 7 beanies to keep your baby warm. It's very important to keep their head warm, by the way. That's where most of the heat escapes. You're absolutely going to need sweaters or coats. And no, you don't need 14 of them. Just choose 3 or 4. Although it depends on the weather where you live. I also recommend getting baby hangers so you can hang the baby's clothes because they're super tiny and they won't work in the big hangers. And finally, you're gonna need some blankets. I recommend a receiving blanket, and that's the one I treasure the most. It's the first blanket I put on my babies when they were born. But you can also get some really nice blankets for the rest of the time. I say about 4 blankets should be enough. I actually had way more than those, but they weren't needed, so I say 4 blankets. Make sure they are cotton or as natural as you can go. The really, really fluffy ones I don't recommend because they overheat your baby. And sometimes they can cause some allergy. There's some fabrics that cause allergy on the baby's skin. The next category, the third category, would be baby hygiene products. So far, my favorite brand when it comes to shampoos and lotion is Aveeno. It is really good for sensitive skin, especially for babies that are prone to eczema. It has a soothing oatmeal base in most of its products, and I'm really happy with Aveeno. And most of them are fragrance-free. There's special Aveeno baby products, and some have lavender, which is really nice also for helping your baby sleep and relax. I also recommend getting at least 3 towels with a hoodie. You know, those super cute baby towels with a hoodie. You're gonna need a baby bathtub with a seat or a sling. There is one that is my absolute favorite because you will be using it for the rest of your baby's infancy, and when they're toddlers, probably for a little bit too. You'll find it in that ultimate free guide that you can download in the link. You can also get some washcloths, a soft brush for scrubbing. Sometimes babies get cradle cap, and you can eliminate it using a little brush to scrub their head. There are some really nice ones that you can hold with your hand and just go like this without hurting your baby. And also a nice soft brush for brushing their hair if your baby has hair. It would be really good. My baby's had a ton of hair, by the way. The next category is getting a baby carrier or a wrap. Originally got an Infantino carrier and I barely used it, but one I really used was a wrap. It's a baby Catan wrap. You'll find it in the checklist that I am providing, and that wrap is amazing because it's not complicated to put on like most wraps. It comes in an organic version. It's made of cotton and it's super soft, and it's an absolute must if you want to have your hands free, if you like baby carrying. I wasn't too fond of baby carrying, but when I traveled, it was an absolute must, like for going on the plane and carrying bags and luggage and everything and my baby at the same time. The fifth category that you need to consider is everything that you'll need for baby transport. This means car seats and strollers mostly, and some accessories that are related to that. When it comes to car seat, I say the best car seat is the one that will last forever. However, it depends on the climate of where you live. If you live in a pretty stable climate that it's warm, you can get a forever seat, which is one that can be rear facing and that will work from newborn until they're over 50 pounds. Usually it's up to 65 or 70 pounds. And you can turn it around and it becomes front facing and will probably last 10 years for your kid, maybe less. My son until he was 7 years old. After that, he was too big and just seats normally. But check your state's rules in regards of when they can leave the car seat. And even if your state's recommendations are a bit low, I recommend using the car seat as long as possible and never use a backless booster. In the US, they're not forbidden, but in Europe, they are. It is proven that they are not safe in accident. If you choose to go with a car seat that you can carry, which are the traditional ones where you need a base and the car seat kind of snaps into it, those usually last until your son or daughter are 1 year old, if not less. But usually they're up until your baby is 33 to 35 pounds. And I love those for cold weather. I'm in South Dakota, so there's no way I would use a forever seat and take out my baby in the cold. I prefer to use a car seat that I could carry around. You can just put a car seat cover and carry them out in the cold or the rain, and they will be protected and continue sleeping, which is the best part. Now, it's very important to be careful and not leave your baby in the car seat because there are many babies that have died of positional asphyxia if you leave them in the car seat when you come inside the home. So it's not good to come in and leave your baby in the car seat, whether it's in daycare or your home, just because you don't want to wake it up. Don't leave your baby unattended in a car seat. When it comes to strollers, the best stroller is the one that fits your lifestyle. You have to consider the weather of where you live. You have to consider whether you're in a city and you need to move around, also how much you travel. When I started my experience as a mother, I had no idea that I'd be buying more than one stroller. I thought it was weird that my sister mentioned having several strollers, and I thought, but the truth is, sometimes you're gonna need several strollers. It's better not to, especially if your economy is limited and you don't want to be spending a bunch of money on strollers because it can get really expensive. So the decision of choosing a stroller is a very important one that you have to think of thoroughly. I personally recommend using a travel stroller if you travel a lot. You can also use your travel stroller as a forever stroller if that's your lifestyle. Now, if you don't travel a lot, then probably you should get a travel system. Some travel strollers also are a travel system. A travel system is a stroller to which you can latch a car seat, a portable car seat. And sometimes they even include the option of getting accessories to turn it into a bassinet. You have to consider also other factors like, will the stroller be good for a newborn? Will the stroller last a long time? You have to check what is the age limit or weight limit. You have to consider how much storage the stroller has, because sometimes you're going to need a lot of storage to carry all the baby stuff around. And if your stroller doesn't have any storage, you'll find it very annoying. And of course, there are some stroller accessories that can make your life easier, like a cup holder, weather covers like a rain cover or a snow cover, a foot muff. There are many, many accessories. I am making a video about the best strollers for travel, and I will be making a video about the best strollers that will last forever. If you're interested in those videos, please like and subscribe so that you see it when it becomes live. If you travel to hotels or in general just do a lot of road trips, you're also going to need a portable playpen, which is basically a crib that you can fold and store easily. And I definitely recommend you get a car mirror, because if you're driving or even if you're in the passenger seat, you can look at your baby when it's rear facing. It's very troubling to look back and not be able to see your baby. The baby car mirror is a lifesaver in that sense. Just make sure it has a light, because if it's nighttime, you won't be able to see your baby without that light. The next category is everything that you'll need for breastfeeding. If you're planning on breastfeeding, it's not true that you just need your breast and that's all. I recommend you be prepared. Breastfeeding is a little bit more complicated than they tell us, at first at least, while you adapt. It's appalling how many of us mothers have no idea what it implies to breastfeed our baby. There's so many benefits to it. You're going to save so much money. Your baby's going to be healthier. Breastfeeding is a wonderful thing. So what will you need for breastfeeding? You're going to need a breast pump, some products for soothing. Yeah, sorry to tell you, but at first it's a little uncomfortable, if not painful, because you're learning how to do a proper latch and it takes a toll on your skin. So you're going to need some ointments like lanolin, some pads that soothe your nipples. You're also going to need some absorbing pads so that you don't stain your clothes. Also a bunch of burp cloths, because when you feed your baby at the end of the breastfeeding session, you have to burp your baby. I was really lucky. My kids never spit up, but some babies do, and a lot, and you will end up full of milk all over your clothes if you don't have a proper burp cloth. You're going to need a milk storage system with containers to store your breast milk properly. I highly recommend getting a nursing pillow. If you're a first-time mom and you have no idea what a nursing pillow is, I have one right here, something like this. Some of them have different shapes, but basically you put it like this and then you breastfeed your baby. And it's amazing because you can completely relax while your baby breastfeeds, and you can watch TV, you can read a book. Your arms don't get tired, so it's a must. And believe it or not, I recommend at least a little bit of formula if you're having issue with breast milk supply. Usually formula is not recommended if you don't want your milk to dwindle, but there's a little trick in which if you use formula correctly, you can actually increase your milk supply. You're probably going to need a hot and cold pack, because sometimes you need that for soothing your breasts or for making the milk come out. It helps the milk flow. Also, a night light comes in very handy for when you wake up in the middle of the night to breastfeed. And don't forget to get some nursing bras. That's something else I had no idea I had to get, because your breasts will be tender and you won't be able to use normal bras. They will be a huge relief, believe me. I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to scare you about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is actually a fabulous experience. I breastfed my daughter until she was 3.5 years old, and I wish I could breastfeed her longer. It's such a wonderful bonding moment with your child. It made me really happy. And of course, it made my baby really happy. The next category that you should include in your baby registry is products that are necessary for your baby's safety. Amongst them are baby monitors, and don't even bother with the just audio monitors, get a video monitor. Also, you're gonna need baby gates for when your kid starts walking around. or even crawling around. These are very important to make sure your baby doesn't fall down the stairs or go to an area of your house that is not safe and not baby-proofed. You're going to need soft bumpers for every sharp corner so your baby doesn't hurt himself or herself with furniture. Outlet covers are also a must so your baby doesn't put its finger in an outlet, which would be terrible. Some people also use cabinet locks and toilet locks. I never used the toilet lock, but definitely used cabinet locks to make sure my babies don't open kitchen cabinets and pull out chemicals or anything dangerous. And there are many other safety things. For example, an oxygen and heart rate monitor. That is not a must, but it's definitely a plus for peace of mind. With my son, I didn't have that. I had no idea it existed, but with my daughter, I absolutely used it because she had a difficult birth and I was really worried for her. You have to be very careful with the monitor you choose. I suggest only choosing the outlet monitor. Stick to something that really works because your baby's oxygen and heart rate are something really delicate that you have to watch closely and make sure that the monitor is accurate. And the one that worked best for me was outlet. You'll find the link to that product and its picture in the ultimate checklist that you can download for free. Yes, it is a little expensive, but absolutely worth the investment. The next category of baby items that you're absolutely going to need is everything related to the baby's feeding. Utensils like dishes, baby bottles, cleaning brushes, tools for sterilizing baby bottles, because believe it or not, even if you're breastfeeding, you're going to need at least a couple of bottles. And I suggest sticking to the brand Dr. Brown. Those are literally the only baby bottles that don't give babies colic. You definitely will need a bunch of bibs for when your baby starts eating solids. And depending on whether you're thinking of preparing your baby's food yourself at home or just buying the baby food, you might want a baby food prep machine. And so far, my favorite brand is Baby Breeza. The next category is baby health. And one really important thing you must not miss and that you must have handy at all times, believe me, I carry it in my purse to make sure my babies are fine, is a thermometer. And it needs to be a good thermometer. Before my son was born, my firstborn was born, I got just the traditional cheap little digital thermometer that goes under the arm or under the tongue. And that thing was worth it. How did I find out? One day my son had a fever. I took him to the pediatrician. They checked his temperature and it was 103.8. And I'm like, what? The thermometer told me he had 102. So that really scared me. And I decided that the best thermometer is the one my pediatrician uses. And funny enough, not all thermometers that pediatricians use are good. Like, for example, I do not trust thermometers that scan your forehead, the ones that go, I don't trust those. Because your skin temperature varies. They say it also takes the temperature of your vein over here or something. But for me, they never worked. I got that thermometer too, and it was not accurate. The only thermometer I trust is an ear thermometer by Braun. It's used by pediatricians, it's accurate, and it's the best one ever. It is very important to have a thermometer, so if your baby ever has a fever, you can stay on top of it. And even if your baby's healthy most of the time, try to always be prepared. Other things you'll need are baby nail clippers, some band-aids for those bumps and scratches, baby-safe ointments. Be very careful which ointments you use. Check with your pediatrician. There are some that are dangerous for babies, like honey is very dangerous for babies that are under 1 year old. I had no idea, and you have to be very careful with that. Also, Vic Vapor Rub can prove to be lethal for babies, literally lethal. It can kill your baby if your baby has a cold. So stay away from Vic Vapor Rub. They do produce a baby-safe version though. It's Baby Rub. Beware of any other home remedies that they use on children. Some can be really dangerous. For example, rubbing alcohol is terrible. It can kill your baby too. Some people believe that rubbing alcohol on the baby that has a fever is the best thing ever. No, it is very, very dangerous. It can literally make your baby drunk. It absorbs through the skin and it produces intoxication to the point where it can kill your baby. So Do not use alcohol on your baby. The almost final category of baby registry products that I recommend is everything related to baby entertainment. And yes, some are only for fun, like baby toys. Now, something interesting I mustn't forget, babies up until they're like 3 months don't even care about toys. It's the funniest thing. I was sure my baby would be all over the cute little rattles and dangling toys and all that. He didn't care. My daughter, same thing. It was until like after she was 3 months old that she started caring about the toys a little bit. So yeah, don't fill yourself up with toys. Try to choose some that are entertaining and most of all safe for your baby. Be careful to choose things that are not choke hazards. Check all the warnings and everything that you get. And if somebody gives you a toy that doesn't seem safe, do not give it to your baby. Really do not. Say thank you and throw it in the closet. You're going to need some bath toys for bath time. Try to choose some that won't form any mold. In the downloadable guide, I include an example. An absolute lifesaver that is also considered baby entertainment and fabulous for moms is a lightweight baby bouncer with soothing vibrations. Yes, that thing is an absolute must. I had no idea how important it would be until I discovered I needed that thing to shower, because your baby falls asleep in it with the soothing vibrations while you shower. And you can have your baby safe there, sitting in his chair while you shower, and you just take a peek every now and then to make sure your baby's safe. Even if you're not planning on using pacifiers, I do recommend you choose at least a couple. For me, it was a lifesaver with my son. My daughter never took to the pacifier, and that was great, but my son absolutely needed it. Without his pacifier, he would not sleep. And with his pacifier, he would sleep like an angel. I just made sure to take away the pacifier once he fell asleep. He usually would spit it out, I recommend you have one handy. Now, how to take the pacifier away, that'll be another video. Definitely get baby books. Reading with your baby is a wonderful experience. Definitely a good example for their future education, so get some pretty cool baby books. My kids love their baby books. And a white noise machine can come in handy. I personally used the one I had very little, but I did use it. When your baby starts standing up and is getting ready to walk, a bouncer is really good. The one where they're standing up and just jumping around, a bouncer jumper. You're going to need that to strengthen their little legs and to keep them entertained. I used to cook while my son was jumping in his jumperoo thing, and he was really happy, and I knew he was safe. My last recommendation for your baby registry is to get gift cards. In case there's some things that you want to choose yourself, just request gift cards in your registry. And it's important to know that in most registries, whenever someone bought something that you didn't like, you can return it and exchange it for gift cards too. Target does that. Amazon does that too. So yeah, those are the basics when it comes to building your registry. Okay, so now we are in the other part, which is what not to buy. Like I said, there are some things that everybody recommends or that are trendy or that you think your baby will need and you actually won't. So what are these things? I have to start with baby shoes. Really, you're not going to use them. Yes, they are super cute. Baby shoes are the cutest. You might use a couple of pairs for pictures. Those things do not stay on your baby's feet. You are literally not going to use them. You're not going to need them. You won't need any shoes until your baby starts walking. So don't waste your money on that. It's absolutely not worth it. If you need a couple, like I said, for some cute pictures, that's fine. But baby shoes are do not buy. Another thing that is not recommended is a baby walker. I personally did use a baby walker for my kids, but if where you live, there's a risk of falling down the stairs or that kind of thing, don't use them. Also, some pediatricians say it's bad for their legs. So baby walkers are not very recommended. Crib bumpers are super cute, but they are dangerous. So avoid them too. There's also some hanging swings or hanging jumpers where you hang it from a door frame or from the ceiling. I personally do not like those. I think they're very unsafe. If for any reason it is not installed correctly, your baby will have a horrible accident. So do not get jumpers or swings that you have to hang from some part of your house. Honey pacifiers are also a big no-no because honey, like I said, is not safe for children under 1 year old. That is something I had no idea, and it totally freaked me out when I found out. So do not give honey to a kid under 1. It can produce botulism. If you don't know what it is, well, Google it. I don't want to go on this video into an in-depth explanation about botulism, but it's a really dangerous illness. And you won't know if your baby's going to get it for at least 30 days if your baby is exposed to honey. So definitely say no to honey and honey pacifiers. I also don't recommend putting cute headbands on your baby. Yes, they look super cute in pictures, and you can use them for a while during a photo session. But baby headbands produce a dent in their soft little heads. Literally, when my daughter wore the headband, it would leave a horrible dent on her head. You could literally see it in her skull. I do not recommend baby headbands. If you're going to use it, like I said, for a photo session, that's fine, but don't leave it on too long. And by too long, I mean over like 15 minutes. Literally, it's that fast that it produces a dent on your baby's head. Okay, this one's controversial. Some people like high chairs. I hate high chairs. I think they're big, they're clunky, they take up too much space. I think also they're a fall hazard. So yeah, say no to high chairs. You're gonna hate that thing. I think a better option are seat boosters. There's some really good ones that you can transport. So a portable seat booster is best. Just make sure to attach it to your dining room chair correctly so that your baby is safe. At first, you're going to need a booster that supports your baby's back and preferably has a table of its own. If your baby is less than 1 year old, and even if it's less than 2, I recommend not buying any shirts. Just stick to onesies. Shirts will climb up when you carry them. You'll see that your baby in every picture has a shirt up to here. So, and their belly's exposed. So yeah, do not waste your money on shirts. Baby snowsuits. Okay, that one depends on what you do. Some people like to put their baby in a snowsuit. Not me. When it comes to baby snowsuits, I think they're a waste of money. My babies were gifted snowsuits. They never used them because I always kept my babies covered up in their stroller and in their car seat. When I took them out, I would just put on their coat because once you come into the house, they overheat. It's easier to take off a coat than to take off a snowsuit. And definitely don't waste your money on an audio monitor. Those were a thing back in the day when having a video monitor was difficult, where TVs were huge and clunky. Nowadays, we have super tiny monitors with really good resolutions. So don't even bother with an audio monitor. You can't see your baby. If you're hearing, you don't even know what's going on. So stick to a video monitor. And basically that's it. Like I said, if you want the full checklist and start your shopping, I recommend you go to the link in the description, download the free Ultimate Baby Registry checklist. There I place my favorite products that I have personally used and tested and tried, and also some that friends used and that I had purchased too, but I had already purchased something else. Okay, so check them out. And if you're interested in learning more about breastfeeding and everything that you will need for breastfeeding and the best steps for a successful breastfeeding journey to produce more milk, check out the next video. If you want to learn more about potty training, check out the video at the end.